313-778-7600 is the call-in number. If you have a question or comment, 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a quick question or comment. So welcome to the African History Network show. It is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021, and we are live. So on today's show, we're going to talk some more about the 51 Democrats from the Texas state legislature, Texas House of Representatives, who have made it to Washington, D.C. They met with members of Congress today. Some of them also met with Vice President Kamala Harris. We know Vice President Kamala Harris was here in Detroit yesterday on a listening tour and dealing with protecting voting rights as well. We also know that President Joe Biden gave his first major speech on voting rights today. Also, he condemned the nationwide Republican effort to tighten voting restrictions and defended the legitimacy of the 2020 presidential election. He said the big lie is just that, a big lie. We're going to talk about this. We'll give you an update on what's going on in Haiti. Also, we see more questions coming out of Haiti after the assassination on Wednesday, July 7th of President Jovenel Moise. Okay, growing questions over assassinations of Haiti President Jovenel Moise. Police in Haiti say Dr. Christian Sanan, that we talked about on the show yesterday, a doctor living in Florida, is one of the quote unquote intellectual authors of the plot to assassinate President Jovenel Moise. At least 29 people were involved in the assassination, police say, as questions grow over who financed the brazen attack. So we'll give you an update on what's going on there. Now, there's a story that I wanted to talk about a few days ago and did not get a chance to talk about. This story is also out of Texas as well. And this deals with an African-American man who was in the news during the 2020 election. Okay. He lives in Houston. His name is Hervis Rogers. And Hervis Rogers went viral on social media in 2020, late 2020, during the presidential election, for being the last person in line at Texas Southern University to cast a vote at 1 a.m. on Super Tuesday in March 20th. Okay, yeah, March 20th. I'm sorry. It was 2020 presidential election, but it was March 20th, Super Tuesday. Okay, March 2020. He was applauded as a tenacious, civic-minded man. I think that's supposed to be March 20. I think that's March 2020. But he was applauded as a tenacious, civic-minded man who worked hard to exercise his right to vote. Now, Hervis Rogers is being prosecuted by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's office for allegedly voting illegally. Now, he's an ex-offender. He served his time in prison. He's on parole. He's on probation, and he's almost done with probation. He thought he could legally vote. Based upon Texas law, you can't until you're off probation, apparently. Hervis Rogers is charged with 2 counts of illegal voting. His bail was set at $100,000. Now, he's out on bail. The ACLU of Texas helped put up his bail, and they are representing him in this case. But he didn't kill anybody. He didn't threaten anybody. He didn't beat up anybody. He didn't mastermind a whole fraudulent voting ring. He didn't vote for somebody who was dead. He didn't vote for his dead mother or something like that, like some of these other cases coming out of Pennsylvania where you had these Trump voters voting for dead relatives. He didn't do that. He cast one vote for himself. He stood in line almost 7 hours. His bail was set at $100,000. $100,000. He faces up to 40 years in prison for voting once. He faces up to 40 years in prison for voting once. Only in Texas. Only in Texas would something like happen like this. There's an article from NPR, National Public Radio, about this, and Joy Reid talked about this on the Readout MSNBC on July 12th. So I'm going to share that clip with you. I posted this article a few days ago from National Public Radio on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and they got a ton of traction on our Facebook fan page. Okay, so we're going to talk about that story. And then we have a late breaking news story here. This has been like a really, really busy news day. I've been busy reviewing all these stories for the past few hours here. We have a late breaking news story, and I'm just going to flip over here to the alerts I'm getting on my smartphone. Washington Post has an update. Senate Democrats announce a $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation plan, including Medicare expansion. Now, this is going to be huge. Okay. This is going to be without the help. They're going this alone without the help of any Republicans. It's not expected that any Republicans will vote for this bill. Okay, because that's the obstructionist party. That's the white nationalist party, the QAnon party. The agreement would mark effort to bridge differences between liberal and centrist wings of the Democratic Party. Senate Democrats on Tuesday reached an early agreement to pursue a sweeping $3.5 trillion reconciliation package that would expand Medicare benefits, boost federal safety net programs, and combat climate change, aiming to sidestep Republican opposition and deliver on President Biden's top economic priorities. We're going to talk about this also. This is, like I said, this has been a very, very busy news day. So we're going to pull that up from the Washington Post. I'm getting an alert from NBC News as well, because NBC News has a story about it. I was watching a story about this on right before coming on the air. About this also right before coming on the air as well. So we'll talk about those stories, give you an update on Haiti, and then Jamaica. So we've got Haiti and Jamaica in the news. Reuters, there was an article from face-to-faceafrica.com back on July 8th, I think it was. I posted this on our fan page, the African History Network. And there's also one from Reuters.com from July 12th. Jamaica plans to seek reparations for Britain over slavery. Jamaica plans to seek reparations from Britain over slavery. We're going to talk about this as well. We know that Jamaica was a British colony. We know that 100 years ago, 1/5 of the world population lived under British rule. May 19th, 2018, when Meghan Markle married Prince Harry. I just talked about this in my online course this past weekend. I said she's marrying into a family of colonizers. I'm not calling them colonizers because they're white. I'm calling them colonizers because in 1915, 1/5 of the world population lived under British rule. These are a bunch of colonizers. This is why. Okay. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. We're going to go to clip. We're going to go to clip one here quickly, Shakita, before the break from NBC Nightly News. Joe Biden condemns Republican backed efforts to restrict voting access. Let's go to this. This is part of Biden's speech today.
President Biden tonight in Philadelphia delivering a stark warning that American democracy is on the line, condemning Republican-backed efforts to restrict voting access.
We ask you, my Republican friends in Congress, states, cities, and counties, to stand up for God's sake and help prevent this concerted effort to undermine our elections and the sacred right to vote. Have you no shame?
In his most passionate remarks yet, denouncing former President Trump's false claims he won.
The 2020 election was the most scrutinized election ever in American history. The big lie is just that, a big lie.
It comes just hours after Texas Republicans called for the arrest of at least 51 Democratic state legislators who fled the state for Washington on chartered private jets to deny Republicans the quorum they need to pass new voting bills.
I'm not going to be a hostage. That my constituents' right to be stripped from them.
The lawmakers casting their effort as part of a generational fight. Among the provisions, the Texas bills would add new voter ID requirements for mail-in ballots and would end some early voting options like drive-through voting and voting during overnight hours. Republicans slamming Texas Democrats, arguing the bills do not suppress the vote, but secure it.
They're doing this in a fit because they don't want mail-in ballots to be verified. They don't want the signatures to be verified. They don't want basic integrity steps to be strengthened in the state of Texas.
The state's Republican governor calling the Democrats' move a stunt.
Isn't that the most un-Texan thing you've ever heard? Texans running from a fight? They're quitters.
Hey, pause it right there, Shakita. We're coming up on a break. Pause it right there.
On the issue.
And so I'm here to thank you.
Still, Democrats do not
pause
have
the clip right there,
stop
please,
the
Shakita.
Republican-backed bill.
Okay, just back it up about 30 seconds or so. So that was lying-ass Ted Cruz you heard. Lying, flying Ted Cruz, Cancun Ted Cruz, who ran out on Texas to Cancun and used his family as a scapegoat. That's him lying, talking about mail-in ballots, things like this. Then you heard the lying Governor Abbott of Texas as well. We're going to deal with all this on the other side of the break. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation Future Radio. I'm Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stand by, everybody. We're on break. We'll be back in 4 minutes. Share this broadcast on your social media platforms. Invite your friends to tune in also. Back from break in 4 minutes. How's everybody doing? Stand by, everybody. Okay, we got Norma, Becky, Shelly, Robert, Rochelle, Sharon, Isaac, just a few of the people watching. Okay, stand by. Back from break in 2 minutes. How's everybody doing? Who still needs to register for my 10-week online course? Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa. Understand the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Stand by. Back from break in 1 minute. Stand by, everybody.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021, and we are live. Calling numbers 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600 is the call-in number. If you have a quick question or comment, it'll help if you can write down your comments or bullet points, because we have a lot to cover today. All right, now on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events and history, politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word KEMET, KEMET, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word KEMET, KEMET, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Be sure to register for the 10-week online course that I teach, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. That's at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We'll talk some more about that later in the show. All right, I want to go back to clip number one. Joe Biden spoke today. He gave his first major speech defending voting rights. In his first major speech on voting rights, President Joe Biden condemned the nationwide Republican effort to tighten voter restrictions. We know there are 381. All right, we're back. We know that 381 bills in 48 states. Okay, I think we're still connected here. All right, Shakita, let me know, are we still connected through Skype? Let me see here. Testing 1 2 3, testing. Yeah, it's Michael. Didn't I get disconnected?